Welcome back, everyone. We are so excited to have you listening with us today. We are going to be going through our tier list from Trigger Happy Havoc, and this episode will spoil the entirety of Trigger Happy Havoc. Thanks for sticking with us, and we can't wait to get started.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Marin.
And I'm Caroline.
And we're the Ultra Hope Girls.
1, 2.
Welcome to the Danganronpa podcast.
You're on the threshold of an amazing episode. Showtime.
Hey everybody, so today we are going to be talking about tier lists of characters that we have made for the first Danganronpa game. And basically a tier list is just a way to rank your favorite characters from most favorite to least favorite. And we have 5 tiers on our tier list. We've got the S tier, which is at the top, and it is your very favorite characters, the characters you think are the best. And then you've got the A tier underneath that, all the way down, through B, C, and D. And the D tier is the characters that you do not like. And so we're going to be talking about what rankings we have given, all the 3 of us, to the characters in the first game. And we're also going to be trying to guess what the other people's rankings were. So we're going to see how accurate we were. We all came up with tier lists for each other to predict what each other would say, and we're going to see how accurate we are.
Yeah, let's see how well we know each other.
It's going to be kind of like tier list bingo.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to start with Maddie.
Woo-hoo. I'll go ahead and share. I'm going to start from the D tier and then work my way up. Save the best for last. So, all right. I don't think this is going to surprise you, but the first person I put into the D tier was Hifumi. Hifumi, I literally cannot stand him. There's just nothing I like about him, I'm sorry to say. I thought maybe he had a couple redeeming qualities when he volunteers for trash duty when he knows when no one else will want to do it, but there's also the possibility of him doing that so he could go through the girl's trash like a creeper, which was mentioned at some point. So that's just no. And he murdered Taka over a laptop, it just And so I have 2 people in my D tier. That's one of them is Hifumi, and the next one is actually Sayaka. I do not like Sayaka. I really just don't like her. When I was first playing the game, I just found her annoying, but then it turned into the whole betrayal with her framing Makoto for murder, and I was just like, wow, she's not good.
Yeah, valid.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so next up, I have my C tier, and I put 3 people into my C tier. And the first person I put into my C tier, don't hate me, please, but I actually put Taka there. And Marin, I know he's you, but I would never put you into my C tier. Also I would absolutely put you on my S tier. But and you too, Caroline. Oh my gosh, you both would make my S tier.
Honestly, Maddie, I actually had Taka in your D tier, so I'm not
too.
offended.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I
All
thought
right.
you really didn't like him.
Yeah.
I don't hate him. He just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Most of the game I was just kind of there are some things I like about him, but overall I think he was just too much for me. And then for the version of Taka that is post Mondo's execution, and he's I am Kyondo, I'm me, when he just got the fiery hair. I put him in the same place because I just felt kind of the same way. The next one I put on my C tier, I actually put Maguro there because I don't know her. I don't want to put her on my D tier because I'm I don't have reasons to hate her, but I don't have reasons to like her either. So I'm she'll just hang out on the C tier. And the last person I put there was Hiro. I don't hate him. He's sometimes funny to me. He can be a good, refreshing source of comic relief throughout the game, but I also don't love him as a character because he just kind of doesn't do much for the game. He's just kind of there. So, yeah. Moving up into the world of the B tier, I have 4, I guess, sort of 5. But, so, yes, I have actually Toko in my B tier. My feelings toward Toko are kind of complicated, but playing through Trigger Happy Havoc, I didn't really like Toko that much. She became more interesting with Genocide Jack, and that's why I put Genocide Jack or Genocide Jill in the same tier, in B tier, but she was hard for me to like, Toko. And I think she's supposed to be hard to like, but over time I've grown to love her for other reasons. So I kind of averaged out my feelings for her and put her on the B tier. All right. The next person I put on my B tier is actually Makoto. I think Makoto's like a pretty good protagonist. I mean, he grew on me a lot throughout the game. I didn't put him in my A tier because I was trying to be really selective with who I decided would, have the privilege of taking those top tiers, but I do like Makoto. Next person I put in my B tier was actually Junko. I don't love her, but I like her as a villain. She's interesting. She's definitely a unique kind of villain, and so I appreciate that uniqueness. She's interesting. She's really complex and multidimensional as an antagonist, but with the exception of the end of the game, we don't really get to see much of her because obviously she's like the secret. She's the surprise that comes back at the end. So there's not enough exposure for her for me to be like, wow, this is an awesome villain. Because I usually have a thing for villains, but we didn't get enough of her. So B tier it is. And then the last person on my B tier is Mondo. So the first time I played through the game, I did not like Mondo. I just really didn't. But for one of our podcast episodes, to prepare for it, I played through all of his free time events, and I definitely developed a newfound appreciation for him. Like when he talks about his dog, a Maltese named Chuck, who he called his baby boy, I just died. It was so cute. Like it was just really sweet. And he also has moments in his free time events where he's just like really funny. He made me laugh, and I was like, okay, Mondo, I don't dislike you anymore.
You deserve to be in the B tier, Mondo. You made it. You graduated.
Yeah. All right. Moving up. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, yeah.
We got our A tier, and I have 4 people in my A tier, and they are Hina, Celeste, Byakuya, and Leon.
I told you, Caroline.
What? No, Byakuya is not in your S tier?
No, he did not make my S tier.
Literally, Marin and I earlier when we were FaceTiming, we were like, we're all gonna have someone in our S tier. And then Marin said, no.
I was like, I don't think we
Byakuya
are.
in her S tier. And I said, what? We lust after Byakuya. What are you talking about? Anyway, that's all. Continue.
Okay. Wow. Leon?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I'll start with Leon because I know I've talked about this before, but he's just a character that I love and I have no reason to. He just overall has a lot of issues and I have no good reason to love him, but the heart wants what it wants. And there you go. So I'll talk about Byakuya a little bit and the reasons why he did not make it into my S tier. I love Byakuya, but I at the same time hate that I love him. And so this is why he didn't make it into my S tier, because at the same time, like Leon, he's also very problematic. And because he's a fave, but a problematic fave, he made my A tier, but not my S tier. He's super attractive. He makes the game so much more interesting. And I really do love him, but he's also such an asshole that I know I shouldn't love him, but I do. So
wow.
It's just complicated. Yeah. Hina, I feel like this one is kind of self-explanatory. I just love her. She's so sweet. She's my girl. She's just a ray of sunshine who also has the guts to stand up for her friends and call people out on their BS. Yeah, I just adore her overall. And then Celeste is a goth queen. She is beautiful. She is clever. She's cunning, mysterious. She's not a good person. Like she, killed people and whatnot. And she was talking about how, I don't care about other people. I only care about my own self-interest. Like they don't matter to me. But I'm also not sure that she was telling the truth when she said that, like after her trial, right before her execution. She is a liar after all. But yeah, I love Celeste. All right.
Yeah.
S tier. We ready?
I'm so ready.
I mean, by process of elimination, you may have already figured out who's on my S tier. But the grand reveal. I have Chihiro, Kyoko, and Sakura on my S tier. My ultimate babes. So it's funny because for my S tier, I try to be really, really selective and choose not necessarily who like my personal favorite characters are, but who do I think is worthy of this tier? Like who deserves to be there? And I was like, Chihiro, Kyoko, and Sakura. Those are the 3 that deserve to be there. And Chihiro, he made my S tier because I did not have enough of an appreciation for him the first time I played this game. And now that I'm replaying and I'm like, why wasn't Chihiro my absolute favorite character from the start? What was I thinking? Sleeping on the amazingness of this boy. He's a genius. He's sweet. He's nice to everybody. He's working hard toward his goals of, like facing his insecurities and becoming strong. He takes a beat up old laptop and creates a self-aware AI on it from scratch, which then like literally goes on to save everybody in the game. And Chihiro is literally, he's just best boy, hands down, one of the best characters in this game, and I will never forgive myself for not seeing that from the start.
If you are an audience member and you're like, what, Maddie, what are you talking about? Chihiro's not that great. I suggest that you listen to our episode about Chapter 2 of Danganronpa. It's episode 3, where we dive into Case 2. And I think that, like Maddie, you will have a newfound appreciation for Chihiro.
Absolutely. And then Kyoko. Kyoko was like my favorite character this whole time. And so she still makes my S tier. She's my girl, my queen. I love her so much. Similarly to Chihiro, Kyoko as the ultimate detective does so much for the game and for the characters. And a lot of it is thanks to her that they were able to survive by like solving the murders and escape, by uncovering the mastermind and the secrets of the whole situation. I mean, she's literally like, to me, Kyoko Kirigiri is like a force of nature, and she never misses anything. I'm just endlessly impressed by her skill and her talent, and I love her, and I want to marry her forever.
Amazing.
And then
So,
Sakura.
Amen.
Sakura, my waifu.
yes.
How could she not make my S tier? I mean, she's just another.
Right.
Yeah, she's another character I did not appreciate enough when I first played through the game, but she's amazing. I mean, she sacrifices herself and takes her own life in order to protect the rest of the group, and it's heartbreaking. But it just goes to show how selfless she is and how far she will go to protect the people she cares about. I mean, she only ever wanted to help the people around her, and she's just like this wonderful, like just badass, powerful woman. And I am honored to have been shipped with her for our Bestie Picks Waifu episode. Like, I will never get over that. It's just such an honor because I love her a lot. And yeah, that's my tier.
Awesome.
How'd you guys do?
Daddy.
I did pretty poorly. I got a 9 out of 17.
Oh.
Yeah, so the ones that I got right, I got Hifumi, Mukuro, Hiro, Makoto, Mondo, Byakuya, Hina, Kyoko, and Sakura. So I actually got a lot of the like characters we talk a lot about wrong.
Really? Huh.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I got 8 out of 17, so I was right in the same ballpark.
Haha.
I got Hifumi, Mukuro, Hiro, Genocide Jill, Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and Sakura right. And I thought that you were going to put Toko above Genocide Jill in my prediction because, like, she's more than the sum of her parts kind of thing, like, because you have grown to appreciate her, as I do.
Indeed.
But I think the one that surprised me the most, honestly, was Chihiro, because I didn't realize that you had such a strong appreciation for him at all. Like, I put him in your A tier, so I knew, like, he is literal Jesus in this game, but, like, yeah, I didn't think it was that high of an appreciation.
I didn't think it was either. I made that realization, like, going back and playing this game, I was like, wow, I love Chihiro so much.
I think for me, the biggest shock was Toko being so low. And I don't know if it's because I hear Caroline talk about Toko and I just kind of associate the two. Yeah, that was a surprise to me, but not like now that I hear it, I'm kind of like, oh, okay. But
yeah, what tier did you have her on for me?
S.
Really?
Wow,
okay.
I had her at A. So yeah.
Yeah, I really thought you liked her more than you did. All right. So now I think we can get going with my tier.
Go for it.
Okay, so in D tier, not a surprise, Hifumi was the first person I put in this entire tier, easy peasy. Up next in D tier is Leon. Maddie's making a very sad face right
R.I.P.
I know. I just don't like Leon. I think that he is a cold-blooded murderer, and I think people give him a lot more credit than they should. And I didn't like him as a person because he's like has all these dreams but puts no drive forward, and that to me, like, I don't like people who complain about not accomplishing anything when they never try. And so, like, he bothered me as a person. Yeah. And then lastly, in my D tier, I put the fiery Taka. Ishimondo, because I like Taka and Mondo. Like, I really like both of them, but I really hated when Taka tried to become Mondo as like a sign of grief. Like, I understand people handle grief in different ways, nursing major, but it took away a lot of the good parts of Taka's personality that were there, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, that's
So that
deep.
was, yeah, thank you. So that was my D tier. Up next is my C tier, where Taka actually resides. And that also might be a surprise for.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
You said in the first episode that you didn't really like him a lot.
Yeah, I got him in the personality quiz, and the first time that I read the results, I was like, really? Taka? Like, I was like, that's who I get from this game? And I get it. I mean, I'm a lawful good person, but I just wish there was a little bit more to him, and I think that they tried to give him a little bit more by creating that fiery Taka character, but it went the wrong way for me. And so I just wasn't a huge fan by the end. You know, like, I liked his relationship with Mondo, but as his own person, I'm not a fan. Yeah. I also, just so you guys know, like, as the audience, I have a lot of very strong feelings about a lot of characters. In our very first podcast episode, you guys might remember, but we're like, so let's talk about first impressions of the character. And I literally say in the first episode, I'm like, well, I liked a lot of people. I didn't like this person, this person, this person, this person. And then we move on. Like, I have very, very extreme like opinions about these people, but it's fine. Okay, up next in my C tier, I have Hiro. Kind of like Hifumi, the second time I played through the game, I like him more. If you had asked me to rank these people before, he would have been in D tier. So he improved in my tier. I think he's a really relaxed guy and chill and fun. And if it was any game other than a killing game, I would like him a lot more. But because it's a high stress environment and he doesn't handle stress well, not a huge fan. All right, up next is Sayaka. She is in my C tier. I had her in my D tier for a little bit, but I didn't think that was super fair. She reminds me a little bit of Leon, but is a little bit more likable in my mind. So that's why she got a level up. But yeah, that's who's in there. Okay, up next, I have my B tier, which was by far my biggest tier, although I included Monokuma in my tier list, so that would make it wider. Up first in my B tier, I had Junko. I like Junko. She is a really interesting character to me because she manages to go the entire game, at least for me when I played it, without me figuring out who it was. And I like a mastermind who actually leaves me surprised, and she did that. And so I have to respect her for that. My only complaint, the reason why she's not in the A or S tier, is because, like Maddie said, we don't get to see a ton of her. I mean, if you consider her to be Monokuma, then you could say all of those times you see Monokuma, that's her. But it just wasn't enough of raw Junko for me to make a solid opinion. So that's why she's there. So up next is Makoto. Makoto is in my B tier. I like Makoto. I think that watching him in the anime now is a little bit painful. They really don't do him justice in the anime, and so that might kind of have affected my like tier placement, why I put him in B and not A or S. But I think he's a good protagonist. Very kind, very cheerful, and kind of like gets the group hyped without going overboard. And so I thought he was pretty average, you know? So I put him in the middle tier. Up next, I have Mondo in the B tier, and that actually might be a surprise to you guys, that he's not higher up.
Yeah, it's a surprise to me.
Yeah. But I love Mondo, and holy cow, if we only took him in the chapter 2 trial, he'd probably be in my S tier. But he's
Really?
just, yeah, I mean, after we did that case, after we analyzed that case, I really, really loved him. Like, I really like a character who knows his flaws, you know, and he at his death was trying to work on them. I don't know. I really respected him after that trial.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, but I will say I don't like how aggressive he is. Like we were talking about how he's kind of a really macho man. And I think that can get really annoying. Like anytime anyone said something in the prologue or chapter 1, he was like, shut up, or like cussed at them. And it was like, you can calm down. Like,
Yeah.
So that's why he's there. So up next on my B tier is Celeste. I like Celeste.
We shipped her with you.
I know.
Your B tier?
I know. I like
Girl.
her. But she, to me, Maddie, I have to disagree with you. I don't think that she cares about the people around her. I honestly think that she is a very self-sufficient person. And I think that that's a little annoying. How many times can I say that this episode that I find people annoying? I love all these people. But there are little quirks that bother me, and that is one of them. Like, she is very much like, do what I say, and if you don't do what I say, then like I'll murder you, or like it's all about me, and that is unattractive to me.
Oh, wow.
But she made it to the B tier. All right, so like clearly it's not like I hate her. I really respect her. She's kind of like Junko, actually, in that way. Like, very similar points.
She is.
All right, the last one on my B tier, I think it's probably going to hurt you both, but it is Hina on my B tier. Yeah, because I love Hina.
Aww.
She is just like, if Celeste is Junko, Hina is Makoto. Like, they are pretty much the same people.
I don't agree, but it's fine.
Hey, this is my tier list. Get your own.
I'm just stating my opinion.
Yes, so Hina, love her, but she reminds me a lot of Makoto because she's very bubbly. She's very like, these are the facts about me and I stick to them. There's not a ton of change in her personality over time. She doesn't really have a ton of a character arc other than with Sakura, but that's a different person, how the different person affects her life. It's not herself making change. So that bothered me a little bit. She's very sweet, very kind. I love Hina, and I know that both of you love Hina too, but in terms of my tier list, she's not my favorite by far. I mean, yeah.
I actually got that one right. I had Hina on your B tier.
Nice! Yeah. I'm so proud! Okay, up next is my A tier. Okay, A tier. I have Kyoko. And honestly, she could be interchangeable to the S tier, A tier, S tier. The only thing I don't like about Kyoko is she can be a little dense, and that might be a surprising statement because she's probably the smartest one in the game. But in terms of social skills, she can be really dense. When we were analyzing the last case, I actually wrote down a line that she says. She's going and analyzing Taka's body, I believe. Or it might be Chihiro's from case 2. But anyways, she's analyzing a body. She's like doing a full autopsy, and everyone's like, "Oh my goodness, you're touching them everywhere! Like you're gonna touch their underwear." And she's like, "It's not like I touched his socks." And that,
what?
Yeah, she does say that.
Yeah, like
very bizarre.
Does not really understand social cues, and so that was sometimes frustrating, but I love her to death. I mean, she's on my A tier, almost my S tier. So big high appreciation for Kyokes.
Kyokes.
Up next on my A tier is Toko. So
what? She made it this high up on your list?
Oh,
I'm surprised
Toko.
about that too.
You like Toko?
I love Toko. Oh yeah. When I played the game, I spent all my free time with her. Yeah.
You did mention that.
Like her. Though I thought you spent your free time with her, but I thought you didn't like her.
No,
I thought you were like, quote, I've listened to the first episode like 3 times. If this is the whole game, then I don't know, man.
When I first met her, like the very first meeting, yeah. But no, I love her. I mean, yeah, obviously if I spent all my time, I would never do that. I would pick someone I liked. But yeah, no, I love Toko. I think she's really interesting, and like, I mean, she's dating the man I love, so you gotta have some respect there. Yeah, she's a cool kid. Okay, up next on my tier list is Chihiro, on my A tier. Love Chihiro. First time I played through the game, probably Chihiro would have been on my C tier, maybe or maybe B tier. But
Really?
replaying, kind of like what Maddie said, I gained a newfound appreciation.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean,
My boy.
without Chihiro, they would have all died. It's kind of like Kyoko. Without both of them, they would have all died.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's so real.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
they could not have made it through without them, and so you have to give them appreciation. But yeah, love Chihiro, icon. And then this one, I kind of regret. I think I would change this a little bit. But the last person on my A tier is Maguro. And you're
Really?
like, what on
Uh,
earth, Marin? Why is Maguro so high up? That makes no sense. But from what we saw, which is how I did Junko's kind of like placement, I really like Maguro. She seemed like someone that I would really, really like. I liked her ultimate ability. I mean, she stuck it out for her sister, who is an absolute maniac. Like, she seemed to have a lot of really cool traits, and I actually hate that we didn't get to know her more.
I do too.
Yeah, like she, I think, could have easily made my S tier if we had met her. Although maybe that's not fair to say, because if we'd met her more, then she could have easily been on my D tier. But yeah, so that's why she's there. I think in all reality, I'd probably move her down to C and give that same explanation, but say that she probably would have jumped up. So if you put her in C, I'll give you credit. You can have 0.5 for that one.
0.5.
Yeah, 0.5. All right. So that is it for my tier A. And up last is tier S, which
Oh my
again, like
God.
Maddie said, if you did process of elimination, you will know. But my S tier is a real gang. All right.
Real squad up
A
here.
whole squad. All right. So person one in my 3-person squad is Genocide Jack, who is my favorite female character from the first game. Go ahead, Caroline.
Shut the
Please.
f up. What?
We're gonna have to edit that out.
We're gonna have to censor that.
No, but like,
That surprises me. I forgot she was even on there. Like,
I love Genocide Jack. Like, part of the reason I spent time with Toko was because I wanted to hang out with Genocide Jack, and I made the mistake in the game of not finishing Toko's free times before trying to hang out with Genocide Jack. So every time I'd hang out with Genocide Jack, she would be like, "I don't want this, like, leave me alone," and hiss and run away with her scissors, and I'd be like, "Well, that stinks." But
oh my God. That is amazing. I'm
wow.
I'm in love with you.
Wow.
I know.
What an announcement. I love it. Me too. I mean, it's just, she's so good and so well written. And the juxtaposition of her and Toko is perfect.
It is.
Yeah. My second person on the S tier, can anyone guess?
Is it Byakuya?
You got it.
Love
Ding,
my
ding,
life.
Yeah, not a surprise.
Not surprising at all.
He just a real gem, you know. And what's interesting is Caroline and I were talking yesterday, and we discovered, or I guess I discovered, that a lot of people see Byakuya as an antagonist in the game, and I have never thought about him like that. Never. I always was like, it's Junko. Junko is the antagonist, and I'm not wrong, but people found that there had to be one throughout the entire game versus just the overall antagonist. But he was working towards the same goals. Just because he was playing his own game doesn't mean he was deliberately hurting the other people. You know, they were all going to end up in the same place no matter what he did, as long as he had the same respect for his life that was so evident throughout the game. And so I never saw him as an antagonist, but I guess that's a huge thing. Like, everyone saw that. That's just a little tangent from me, but I was just shocked. Love him.
Yeah.
Absolutely love
That's
him.
how I've always thought of him, because he is everything
too.
Makoto isn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess
Anyway.
you can have a good antagonist. That's fair. But, oh man, hard to digest that. All right. And then my last person on my tier list is Sakura. Sakura is just
Yay!
awesome. I mean, holy cow. You know, when we did our Bestie Picks Waifu episode, we were all like, she is just so good. And if we could take her out of the game and give her to Maddie, we would.
Yes, amen.
Yes. But I mean, I can really find no fault with Sakura. You know, I just respect her, the life out of her. I love Sakura. No pun intended there, but
We just need to find me, like, if there are any women out there who are buff and strong and tall with long flowing white hair
and a
deep
huge scar
voices
across their face.
and can fight martial arts and love protein drinks and their name is Sakura. Anyone out there, like, give me a call and
Call Maddie.
we'll figure it out.
She wants you.
Oh.
All right, well, I guess it's time to reveal our scores. So I got 11.5, since Maguro is a 0.5% out of 17.
That's pretty good. More than
I
Maddie's.
did okay. Yeah, I did all right. I think the most surprising one for me was definitely Toko, because I didn't know that you really liked her that much. Yeah, I was a little shocked.
Yeah, big fan.
But I mean, yeah, like generally I got like a proportional number of all of them right.
Nice.
So the ones I got right were Hifumi, Leon, Taka. I knew you didn't like Taka.
You got Leon right? I'm so
Yeah.
proud of you. Okay, keep going.
No, Hiro, Maguro in the C tier, because, you know.
I did allow that, yes.
Junko, Mondo, and Makoto in the B tier. I had Mondo in the B tier for you. I feel you,
Nice.
bro.
I love
A
that.
tier, Kyoko, Chihiro. And then S tier, I knew Byakuya was going to be in there. And then Sakura, we love her. S tier.
Nice. Very good.
Y'all,
Uh-oh.
I did so badly on this.
So scared.
You want to hear the number I got right?
I do.
5.
Oh my god.
Not even 5.5.
Not even 5.
Just 5.
Oh, man.
I got, let's see, who did I get right? I got Hifumi, Makoto, Hina, Chihiro, and Byakuya. That's it.
Wow.
I had a hard time with yours. I was thinking to myself, I was like, I think I'm going to have a hard time with Marin's. I think Caroline's might be easier for me, because I think Caroline and I have talked about it more than you and I have, Marin.
Mhm.
That's
But
real.
yeah, I just did so laughably bad on this that I just
For the audience, Caroline and Maddie actually played through the game at the same time. And then it was probably 2 or 3 months later when I replayed through it on my own. So I wasn't really sharing much with the two of them. I was just like, wow, I got through chapter 3. Not really severe character analysis type things, which is why it was probably a 5.
Oh, no.
5 out of what, 17?
Literally.
That's so
I'm gonna
funny.
calculate. I want to see what my grade would be if it was like a test.
This was a test.
No.
29. 29%.
Yeah. You're halfway to an F.
All right, everybody. We're going to take a quick break, but before we do, we want to see your tier lists. Tweet them at us on our Twitter or show them to us on our Facebook, and we also want to hear your questions, so make sure you leave us a voicemail at anchor.fm. We also have a Patreon with a bunch of really awesome perks, including book club with yours truly, and also being part of our Discord server, and a bunch of cool bloopers and like interview extras, so you definitely want to check that out. The link for all of this is in the episode description, and we will be right back after the break.
All right, guys, welcome back. We have Caroline's tier list up next.
All right. Hey, guys. So I'll just jump right in. So in my D tier, I had Hifumi.
Yep.
Not a surprise to most people, because Hifumi is a fool. Not a fan, and he's annoying. And he stays around a lot longer than he should, in my
I
opinion.
agree.
Yeah.
Grand. I'm glad that at least here in Ultra Hope Girls we concur with that thought. All right. So next on my D tier is Sayaka. And I think that I don't really love Sayaka because she is just in existence to be the anime stereotype of being the girl that exists with the man and I don't dig that. And
Yeah.
her personality is kind of lame, in my opinion.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Guys, thank you for backing up my
We're all
feminist
concurring.
manifesto. And then the last person in my D tier was Fire Taka. He is annoying, period. All right, C tier next.
The difference in our explanations for Fire Taka, immense. But we literally said the same thing.
It's like the
just used
same
more words.
definition, except just okay.
Yep.
All right, for my C tier, the first person I have is Leon. Leon is interesting to me because when I watched the anime, I was kind of like, ugh, no. But when I accepted him for who he was in the visual novel, and the fact that he's a little deep, he's got some love of like music, but he's the ultimate baseball star. Like, what a struggle! Like, wow. But then he was the first murderer, so he's in the C tier. Also, he is kind of mean, like high key mean.
He can be, yeah.
Okay, next to my C tier. Wow, I'm about to get every person on Amino to hate me.
Uh-oh.
Next to my C tier is Makoto. I'm sorry, he is my least favorite protagonist. I think he's just the most basic out of all of them, in my opinion. He's just not a very interesting character, and for me, like, what I love about media and the media I consume are characters that intrigue me, and he does not intrigue me very much at all. In fact, he is the opposite of intrigue. He is, when magnets are both south poles, like, I'm like, no.
So like repulsion.
Repulsion. That's the word.
R.I.P. to Caroline's Bessie Picks waifu.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. I don't like mind him, but like, yeah, anyway, not a fan. Next to my C tier is Maguro. She's hot, she's beautiful, but I don't know a lot about her. However, I'm actually watching the anime right now, the Danganronpa 3, and there are some things that have come up that have made me a little more interested in her, but for the sake of this game, we're going to keep her in the C tier. I like her talent, but there's nothing else we know about her. All right, next in my C tier is Mondo. Sorry about it. Mondo, love him. And he's in the C tier because he has an arc. Like, he's an interesting character, but it's not the most interesting for me. Yeah, period. All right, B tier. All right, this is an interesting squad, honestly, in my B tier. Okay, also, just to say, my tiers are pretty evenly split.
Gotcha.
Like, there's around 3 to 4 in all of them. My B tier is Taka, because I really kind of like Taka. I know that and generally in this episode and like in the podcast, he's just kind of been, fallen middle of the pack, which in my case, he is in the middle of the pack. So here's why I think Taka falls into the B tier for me, right? Taka, I don't mind him. Like, he's very, like, lawful good, yeah. And maybe it's because he reminds me a little bit of Marin at her extremes that I love him, honestly,
Aww.
that he's made it into the B tier. But otherwise, like, he's, and I also love the part where, like, he breaks away from his, like, previously established morals, and then he forms a relationship with Mondo. Like, I really like that. More than Mondo forming a relationship with him, because I could see that for him. But Taka, it was very, like, unexpected, and I loved that. All right. Next in the B tier is somebody who moved up in my list from when I had created this originally. I would have put them in the C tier before, but now they're in the B tier. And it is Hiro. Hiro, honestly, redemption arc of the century, in my opinion of him. Because playing through the game, I'm like, Hiro, you're a star, dude. Like, he's like a good actor. Like, he's able to like lie very well. Yeah, like, for real. And I kind of like him, and he makes me laugh. Like, some of his lines, like, I'm watching the anime with my parents, and he'll say a thing, and I'll giggle, and I'm like, Hiro's a star. Like, I enjoy his presence. Like, I like him. He's B tier,
I can see, it surprises me, but I can see that now that you say that.
Yeah, I kind of like, I think he's funny. He's a star.
Mm-hmm.
Icon. Next in the B tier, which has fallen into all of our B tiers, I believe, is Junko. For all of the reasons that you said, like, she's absent enough that I don't have a negative opinion of her, but she's interesting enough that I have a more positive opinion of her, so she just falls in the middle for me. Again, she's not the real antagonist of this game, in my opinion. I think it's Byakuya. Like, I think
we have
that
the opposite opinion there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Byakuya for me, he like kind of flips from being an antagonist.
Well,
to a
that's the
non-antagonist.
thing, but he flips right when she is about to become the main antagonist. It's kind of like
Yeah.
Moana. I would say I would compare it to that, like, you know, Tafiti or the Moana spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for Moana, but the lava person, I forget is
I think it is
like
Tafiti.
Junko, where it's like they're always a threat, but you don't really know what they are until you get to the end. Whereas like there's other little obstacles to defeat before you get to the main person. So the A tier, we're now at the A tier. I only had 3 people on my B tier. A tier. See, here's the thing. I just like people. And so a lot of people are in the A and S tier. So
Couldn't be me.
I just like people. Anyway, all right. A tier. Are we ready?
Yes.
A tier. We have Hina. Love Hina. She can't make the S tier just because she's not quite as interesting of a character as the others in my S tier, but I love her, would marry her. Yeah. Next in my A tier is Sakura. I love Sakura, don't get me wrong, and she made it this high because she is like a star, an icon, like sacrifices herself for the group. Again, though, for me, an interesting character is kind of like an example of like a Greek hero where you like root for them, but they have like something that is like a little wrong with them, you know? And so for me, like Sakura is like, even though she is the traitor, she's literally pure from the moment you meet her until the moment she dies. Even when you find out she's the traitor, she's still like, Hina is my love. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, that is why she's not in the S tier for me. Just because of what I value in like characters I watch, even though I love her, she doesn't quite have that for me. Next in the A tier is Genocide Show for the same reasons, but the opposite. She is, I love her. Oh my God, what a queen, like what a star. I love Toko, obviously. Show is just like, you know, I love her and I think she's so funny when she's on screen. I enjoy her presence. She's a nut. I love her. But
She's a nut.
That's what my mom said.
I love it.
We're watching the anime and she goes, that girl's a nut. I was like, yeah. That's the point. But yeah, because of just her literal, like, her whole thing is she's a serial killer and she's kind of insane. Like, I love her and she's interesting enough, again, to be in the A tier, but that's her whole shtick. So she's in the A tier.
Oh, I disagree there. I don't think that's her whole shtick. Yeah, if you read her free time events, not her whole shtick.
Okay, well then, here's the thing, audience. My opinions can be changed. And so as I continue to play through the game, maybe my opinions will change on Genocide Show. But Caroline, right now she's an A.
Yeah, Caroline should tell me to get my own tier.
Get your own tier, Marin. Come
on.
But yeah, no, again, she's an A, so I love her. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, love. But also, she's not in the S tier for me because she destroys the body of the woman that I love.
Aww.
Anyone else crying?
That is the real tea. Like, I love she's an A, but she can't be an S because, well, we'll get to that later, but someone else I love is an S tier. All right. Last in the A tier is Kyoko. I love Kyoko, but kind of in the A tier for the same reasons that Marin had her in the A tier. Like, I think in moments, like, I'm a little like, okay, bro, like, don't be so defensive, come on, I mean, really. And again, like, there's an arc for her, like, discovering, like, knowing who she is, and like, you know more of her as the audience, but her character is so good and so like detective woman that there's not much of an arc for me there. So that is why she's in the A tier. But again, in the A tier because she's a queen, she's a star. I love whenever she speaks, I'm like, my whole heart melts, and I would marry her also. Hina and me and her can be just married together. So, all right. S tier. I have 4 in my S tier because I love to love humans.
That's valid.
Okay, yeah. I like to like people. All right, first in the S tier is Chihiro. I love Chihiro. He is an icon. He is literal Jesus. He creates an AI for them because he wants to help them from beyond the grave. Like, what an icon. I cannot put him any lower. Also, the growth he goes through, he wants to be brave and he wants to be strong, but he still dies, and it makes me sad. And so I love him very much. And also, like, breaking down gender norms, Chihiro, number one. So yeah, I love Chihiro.
Chihiro deserved better.
I know.
For sure.
All right, next is Celeste. Celeste, not only do I want her to be in love with me, but I also think her arc is very interesting to me. I've always really loved characters who put up masks like she does, and they break at a specific moment. And I think as an actor, she is a character I would want to play. And I think that is part of the reason why I am so intrigued by her, that she made it to the S tier. And I just love her aesthetic. And I love her dream that she wants vampire butlers. Like, me too, Celeste. Can we just live in a mansion? Thank you.
There is a quote in this game series where someone says, "It is most terrifying when someone who is serious breaks that character." And that just reminds me of her.
Yes, and that's kind of why I like her so much. It's like there's a lot to unpack in her layers of onion. Oh, God.
Yep, that one's staying in.
Okay. Okay, next is Byakuya, my love, my literal, please marry me, Byakuya, thank you, and good night. He is the perfect antagonist. He is such an interesting character. Throughout the whole game, he's like, I am the affluent prodigy, and I am so aloof and cool. And then the fourth trial ends, and he's like, I actually have feelings. Let me feel them. And I love him so much because he's so aloof and interesting. And I just want him to love me.
Might take that last line out there.
Literally, I love him. Every line he says, every word, I hang on to it. I want him to speak because everything he says is so interesting, and adds more to the plot. All right, last, but most certainly not least, my friends, will not come as a surprise to many of you. It is Toko. I love Toko. Toko is very interesting, and I think that I would not have had the same appreciation for her if I hadn't also played a character with DID in a play in the past and had done all that character analysis for that kind of person. So all I'll say based on the first game, one, she is a writer, which I have, again, always admire people who write, because there are very specific kinds of people who are able to write and be successful, especially from such a young age. I've always loved that. Something that I think is interesting about her character is how she and the way her anxiety compensates for needs that have not been met previously to her high school life. And part of the reasons why she is so adamant to, pursue Byakuya. And just, I don't know, that I've always loved her. She's me. I can't hate her. She's all the worst parts of myself in a lot of ways. And because of that, I have to love all of her, and I have to love all of me.
Amen. Self-love.
All right, kids.
All right. So for yours, Caroline, I got 14 out of 17 right.
Wow, Marin.
I'm pretty obvious with who I like and who I don't like.
Yeah. I think the only one I could have gotten wrong that I didn't would be Makoto, but since we had that episode 2, it's very obvious. Yeah. So the ones that I got wrong were Leon, Taka, and Genocide Jack. Yeah, I had Genocide Jack in your S tier because I figured you would put them together. I had Taka in your C tier instead of your B tier.
Okay.
And then I had Leon in your D tier instead of your C tier because I was like, she doesn't like him. But no, that's just me.
He's fine. I lean toward disliking him, but he's not I don't hate him. You know what I mean? And also Genocide Show, I really try to not take them as the same person. I understand their effects on each other, but I try to keep them separate. Because they're not the same.
So I did not do as well as I in general, I have not been as good at this, but I did do significantly better on this than I did on Maren's. That was just sad. I got 10. So
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Nice.
yeah, I got which ones did I get right? I got Hifumi, Leon, Mukuro, Taka, Hina, Kyoko, Sakura, Byakuya, Celeste, and Toko.
Okay.
All right, guys, now it is time for Bed, Wed, Behead. For today, we decided to do 3 of our lesser known characters, some of the people who we've been saying for many episodes now that we wish we knew more about them. So that might make today a little bit hard. But for today, our Bed, Wed, Behead includes Mukuro, Ishimondo, the fiery Taka, and Genocide Jack, or Genocider Show. We're all so hesitant. No one knows what they want to do.
I don't know.
This is hard.
I can go
I have an
first.
answer. Or Maddie go first.
Okay. I personally would say I would bed Mukuro, wed Genocide Jack, and behead Kyondo. I think is at some point what he calls himself, the flaming white Taka dude that he becomes. I can't stand him. I'm sorry, I can't stand him. But Mukuro, I choose bed Mukuro, wed Genocide Jack, because like Mukuro she is fairly attractive, and then Genocide Jack, it'd be challenging being married to Genocide Jack, but you know, it would
challenging.
It would also be exciting. It'd be interesting. I wouldn't be bored.
Okay, I think what I would do is wed Mukuro, bed Genocide Jack, and behead, what was his name?
Kyondo?
Kyondo.
At one point he
Kyondo,
refers
okay.
himself to himself.
So, and then I would behead Kyondo. Mukuro just seems like a really cool person, and I would love to spend a lifetime unpacking that. Ooh, what an enigma. Gets me going, am I right? And then I feel like Genocide Jack, kind of like the same thing Maddie said, would be really hard to be married to. And then, yeah, I just, not a fan.
All right, so for me, I would wed Mukuro because she's cute. I would like, again, like Maren said, I would like to unpack her. I would like to just see what more is going on there. I would bed Genocider Show. You know, it's Toko, so we're cool and good. And then I would behead Fiery Taka because he is annoying and he's in my D tier, so he's peace out. Taka 2.0, bye. So that's my thoughts.
Nice.
All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed our tier list. Let us know what you think of our tier list, which we're going to be posting on our Twitter, Ultra Hope Girls Podcast, on our Facebook, Ultra Hope Girls Podcast. We are Ultra Hope Girls Podcast everywhere, so you can find us. And we also have a Patreon. Please support us on our Patreon if you are able. It'll make us be able to do a bunch of cool things, and you guys get a bunch of awesome perks. And we have merch on Redbubble. Link in the episode description for all of this. And we hope you all have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye!
Bye!
Bye!